On this day in 1959, Barry Gordy Jr. used an $800 loan from his family's saving fund to form the company which would come to define him and a generation of black music. A nod to the Motor City, the former Detroit motor factory worker named his dream child Motown Records. A powerhouse label of the 1960s, Motown created the soundtrack that shaped the boomer generation. Gordy launched some of the greatest music acts of all time, like the Supremes, the Miracles, Stevie Wonder, the Temptations, and one of my favorites, Marvin Gaye. While the civil rights movement was picking up momentum in the early 1960s, music and culture were still very segregated. The musicians were black, but Gordy had a vision to create music that would appeal to all people. He would realize that goal in 1961 with the label's first #1 record, The Marvelettes, Please, Mr. Postman. Throughout the decade, Motown had more than 75 records land in the top 10 of the Billboard Hot 100. Detroit was perhaps the perfect location for Motown, with a bulging black population that had moved north as part of the Great Migration. Auto and other industry jobs drew black families to Detroit in the 1930s and 40s and created a huge population, which included a lively music scene full of talent. Diana Ross and Florence Ballard of the Supremes grew up not far from where the famous Hitsville studio sits. Gordy purchased a modest two-story house on West Grand Boulevard in the black cultural and economic epicenter of the city that has become sacred ground for music enthusiasts. From the Four Tops to the Jackson 5, they all worked out of Hitsville factory at one time. Not only was Motown a thriving business, it was a powerfully significant black-owned corporation that employed a diverse staff in an era where America was undeniably divided. Motown remained an independent company until 1988. Hitsville, USA is now a museum and a popular Detroit landmark. So today, we celebrate Motown Records, and that is for the culture. Thank you for watching Prime, and good night.